up, Niners Fable? This is Juju Talk Sports, run by Jose Corral. This is 49 Reasons to Listen. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, comment on this video. Let us know what you think. But are the Niners back, Jose? Let us know.
Okay, last week we asked the same question, and I was hesitant to say that they were back. Now, we saw what they did against New England. I'm still a little bit hesitant. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit hesitant because for some reason that New England team was just out in a weird funk. Cam was just playing awful to begin with. He got benched. So we didn't really – I don't think we saw the real New England of what New England really is capable of. Or maybe we were just that good. I don't know. Maybe we are back. But for me, I'm still going to be a little bit hesitant to say that we're back, especially to what we were last year. But it looked good. It looked really, really good last week. And I'm excited now to see us put two back-to-back weeks like that where we're just dominant in both sides of the ball. So I don't know. We'll have to see. This next week's going to be a huge test. But from what we saw the past couple weeks, we're getting there. We're getting there.
I guess it turned out, after all, that Fred Warner and Robert Saul were ultimately going to be Superman's kryptonite. Yeah, no secret why I'm wearing the shirt here, guys. But I was not expecting Cam to have that bad a day. I mean, some people are trying to link it, of course, to the COVID thing. It's not the COVID thing. I think Cam has always been a player of huge peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. And against the Niners, he just happened to have one of those big old troughs. And I don't completely blame Cam. I mean, you look around the offensive pieces around him. At the same time, you look at the scraps that the Niners have had to put together on the defensive side of the ball. Credit to Kerry Hyder. That guy's been playing his ass off all year. Yep. Fred Warner, there's been some buzz about Defensive Player of the Year. I'm starting to hear that take. But we literally had two backup safeties out there, Marcel Harris and Tre'Davious Moore, and they played extremely well. Great. So much so that the narrative now for those guys is trade Jimmy Ward, trade Kowalski Tart. I'm like, hey, hold up, guys, hold up here. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. I know we believe in all gas, no brakes, but every now and then we have to hit that brake on some of these takes here. I still think the Niners have a lot to do, and probably we might even be able to think about addressing stuff at the trade deadline. It'd be nice to just add something there, whether that be to the defensive line, whether that be to the back end of the secondary. But I think that it's clear that we need more help on that side of the ball because these injuries, next man up is great, but eventually you just run out of guys. And I think the Niners are starting to hit that breaking point when you just hear about more and more come in. Position where we don't really need to worry about adding much depth because it just seems as though Kyle is able to just put anyone back there is running back because Jeff Wilson Jr. had an outstanding performance against the Patriots, 3 touchdowns, and on that third touchdown, of course, high ankle sprain. Common theme of this year. I swear at this point I'm ready to Google how to donate like a high ankle because the Niners need them. They need all we can get, faithful. We just need we just need a collection of them on the side for these guys. But he leaves, of course, Jermichael Hasty, the undrafted rookie out of Baylor. He looks good. He's able to excel in this zone run blocking scheme that the Niners have. Tevin Coleman's supposed to be back. I think Jermichael Hasty should take more of the carries than Tevin Coleman. We've seen Tevin Coleman, and he's fine, but he just kind of seems a little slow, or he makes the wrong kind of cuts. And I think this guy he's got some bursts. I like what I'm seeing there. And then another big storyline, of course, Debo's going to be out this one. And if there's a player that I really wanted to be out there against the Seahawks, it'd probably be Debo. Brandon Ayuk, I'm sure he's going to show some good performances, but it'd be nice if like his counter opposite Debo would have been there. I mean, just when that guy gets in the open field, he's just a running back. He's a tank. He's so hard to bring down. And I think that Kyle Shanahan loves having him as part of this offense. So you can tell they take a step back when he's not on the field. Are the Niners back? I guess it's really all going to come down to this week. Big week in Seattle. This is literally how this division has broken down every year that the Niners have been good. Can you get past the Seahawks? And at bare minimum, you have to split the series. It'd be nice to at least get that first win this weekend in their home field because clearly we don't have an advantage in Levi's these days.
No, yeah, you mentioned how big of a week this is going to be. I think the past couple weeks, I mean, the Rams, good team. Patriots, very good team. 2-4 record isn't really indicative of how good this team could really play, in my opinion. and two really great performances. But this is going to be a really good test here. We've mentioned it before, how now we're not necessarily fighting for the division title, but if they win on Sunday, they're literally just a game away from the division lead. So if you pick up a huge win here on Sunday, you're literally talking about one game. And I know the NFC West is wild right now with Arizona pulling up the huge win against Seattle. It's just going to be crazy to see if the Niners could pull this one off. All hell's going to break loose in this division, even though it's already going crazy to begin with. But why not just add to the craziness and add the Niners there on top of that division this year? So I think if they could pull this one off, you're really going to talk about not just, record wise going up to 5-3 after starting, 2-3. You're going to talk about a lot of momentum going into even a couple more difficult games after this one. And I think, I don't know, it's going to be very, very difficult one to win the game. But I don't know, there's something about this team the past couple of weeks that just looks like it doesn't matter who's on the field and who's they're playing against. It just seems like we could just win any single game now. And I'm not too sure how true that's going to be this Sunday. We're going to see how true that really is. But I don't know, something about this team the past couple of weeks is just giving me a lot of faith that we didn't have early on at the beginning of the season.
Well, if there's anyone that could humble us, it's Russell Wilson. Go ahead and check out our other video on the subject. He's definitely put a number on Niners faithful in recent years. But I believe if they can win this game, you fast forward a little bit. You look at the next couple of weeks. They face the Packers on Thursday Night Football, and then we have the Saints on 10 days rest. Then we have the bye week, and then we're expected to get some guys back. Richard Sherman's supposed to be back. D Ford probably, maybe. Hopefully when he does come back, he can stay on the field longer than one game. If that's the case, hell, even Weston Richburg, some help in the interior line would be huge. Then that's going to really put them in a good spot. I mean, these three games here are the most pivotal games on the Niners schedule at this point. You beat Seattle, that's a huge division win. And as you mentioned, in a tightly contested division like the NFC West is, any bit helps. You have to pretty much split the series with each one of these teams. If the Niners don't finish at least 3-3 with one win against each opponent, then that's a problem. Then you look to the Packers game. Right now, the Packers, of course, they're probably the division favorites because we don't think much of the Bears. I mean, but on the off chance that the Packers don't manage to supplant the Bears record-wise, they're going to be in that wild card mix. Then the Saints, obviously, they're going to be in that wild card mix too because the Bucs are looking like the best team in the NFL right now. Yeah. So if we can't win the division, you have to win those next two games because of the wild card implications there. And bottom line, the NFC is far and away the more competitive of the two conferences, and you just can't squander it. That's why it was so important when they lost those games early on in the year, because these games are that much more pivotal for them as they move forward in this season. The Seahawks, by the way, too, they actually went out there and acquired a little bit of pass rush help today. Breaking news, Carlos Dunlap of the Cincinnati Bengals, he's now with them. We'll see if that plays into this Sunday's game. I think in the next couple of weeks, we're probably going to have to update those records, see what our optimistic projection is. I guess we'll kind of like cap it here. What record do you think the Niners have this year to make it back into the playoffs?
The way the NFC is looking, and thankfully, thanks to the new CBA, we actually get the extra playoff spot. 7 teams now in the playoffs. I think 10-6, depending on how games kind of go with, within NFC opponents and NFC records. I think 10-6, or to be a little bit more comfortable, 11-5. I think 11-5 gets you in regardless, and I think 10-6 with some help might get you in as well.
Okay, well, with that said, 11-5, that means they can only afford to lose 2 more games. If you're to say which games would you take as losses, I think it's very possible. I don't expect them to go 3-0, honestly, in this stretch. I think they're going to lose a game here. If I was to say who should they lose that game to, I wouldn't mind if the loss was to the Packers, personally, out of the 3 teams. Saints are, like I said, more likely to be the wild card, and the Seahawks, of course, are in your division. And then potentially having to lose. If they happen to win the Seahawks game this weekend, having to lose that Seahawks game later on, they have to beat the Cardinals. If they were to reach that 11-5 mark we're talking about. 10-6, of course, 3 more losses. I assume they're going to beat Washington. They should beat the Cowboys. The Bills aren't anything special. I think they should be able to stop them. The Rams might be coming back with a little bit more fire after that bye week, though, so keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
I guess the good point there, at least they're facing the Rams off of a bye week, so that helps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's when we're projecting, like, who's the wins, who's the losses. There's not a given wins in these. Even the Redskins, or even the Washington football team, I'll say it's scrappy, competitive, and they'll give you a fight any given day. I mean, shout out to Ron Rivera, by the way, before we close this out. Guy just finished his last cancer treatment. That's the type of stories you like to hear, right?
Yeah. Yep. And beat the shit out of the Cowboys. We always like to see
Beat the shit out of the Cowboys. Hopefully in week 15 we beat the shit out of the Cowboys too. But
absolutely.
All right, Niners faithful. What record do you think the Niners will finish with at the end of the year? Let us know in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe to this video. And stay safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you next time.